Gus, you've been a part of some successful teams. Do you find it hard when you get to this point in the season though to keep the focus on that one game at a time?
Well, I think that's a challenge of any team in college football. You see it every week that teams are on a high and then they kind of lose their momentum. That's our challenge. I mean, we gotta keep moving forward. We gotta keep improving, not look ahead. So yeah, that's a challenge. That's something we're addressing. I'm very upfront with our players.
Gus, some of these games come down to your defense having to make a stop at the end. What have they done well in that area, and what does that say about
Well, they've found a way to make plays. I think we've been fairly fresh in the fourth quarter, and we've challenged our defense numerous times. The first game, Ole Miss, the game Saturday against best offense probably in college football, they found a way to get it done. And but I think a lot of it has to do that they're fresh and they're competitors. And they're confident. They believe they can make a play, and I think that's real important for teams.
Coach, in regards to the Florida Atlantic game, we've seen how injuries can decimate a team. Georgia, for example, what would it be for this team to maybe get some depth built up in a game like this? Obviously, you're not looking past your opponent, but
Yeah.
would it be nice to maybe get some more guys?
It'd be nice any game, but really we're not approaching it that way. I mean, if we can get some guys to play any game, that's a good thing. But I said we're not overlooking anyone. We're not overlooking Florida Atlantic. We've had our own injuries. I mean, we've lost our own guys, and we've played banged up. We're still playing banged up, but depth-wise, we're going to need a lot of other guys to be ready.
Gus, do you expect Patrick Miller to get back into the mix?
Not for sure yet.
And how have you evaluated Avery's play the last 2 weeks in the season?
Avery was a guy that banged his ankle up against Western Carolina. We were worried about him being ready. We wasn't quite 100% Saturday, but he played with a lot of guts. We ran behind him in the fourth quarter a lot. He did an excellent job.
It seemed like, the 2 games that he has played, he did run behind him a lot, particularly with Western Carolina. He ran a lot to the right. And in the fourth, when Trey had the 50-some-odd yard run on that side. What does that mean to have the kind of confidence in the guy who was hurt to do that and to keep running behind him?
Yeah, it says a lot. I mean, like I said, up front, it was a tough physical game Saturday, and we had some linemen banged up, but it didn't bother. I mean, they fought through and showed a lot of guts.
Gus, when you were hired, you talked about getting Auburn back to where it was in 2010, competing at a high level. When you hear players, like talk about possibly winning, why not? What's your reactions to stuff like that, confidence like that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think the mental aspect of college football is very important, and I'm happy that where we're at. But I'm going to say it again: we've not arrived. I mean, if we're going to take it one game at a time, we need to keep improving. You look across college football, teams that don't keep improving throughout the year, it's relevant. There's a lot of ups and downs, and that's our challenge. I mean, we got to keep rolling. Just take it one game at a time and stay focused.
With Ryan White at the safety, is it still going to be Ryan Smith and Jermaine Whitehead kind of playing that dime role?
Yeah, coach has got a plan moving forward, but Ryan White will be a part of more of the back end, with that.
How's McEnroe Alexander doing? Looked like he got a little shaken up.
Yeah, he's doing better. He's doing better, and we expect him to be back.
And Cameron Melton?
It's still kind of day to day.
So McEnroe might be able to play this week.
It's possible.
Yes, I know that each week I'll go on. That you mentioned that you go into each week with a different game plan, because of course depending on the opponent. But for your offensive play calling, do you kind of go into it with like, I want to run it maybe 70% of the time, and then you kind of tweak it as the game goes on, or do you just?
Yeah, I mean, you have a plan for each game. You try to figure out how good their offense is, everything, and so each week we'll definitely have a plan to it.
At the first of the year, Trey Mason told me with complete confidence that this team is capable of the biggest turnaround in college football. What do you think he saw in this team that gave him confidence to say that?
I just think it's a matter of our guys bonded together during spring. I mean, we were extremely tough on them. We were extremely challenged our guys. They came together, you could tell. In fall camp, same thing, and they're playing for each other, and I think that's important.
Gus, in a season like this, do you sleep better or worse?
It just depends. I mean,
Gus, Sammy had a couple of really kind of bad drops the first half, and then obviously came back and made some big plays. To see a guy like that you do need to make plays deep in the field, I guess, what was your reaction to kind of the way he responded?
Yeah, I mean, that we dropped some, and, in a game like that, boy, that's tough, but just told him, hey, we're gonna come back to you. We're gonna come back to you, we need you to make a play. And he did. And he made a couple plays the second half to help us win that game.
What were your thoughts on his throwdown?
Was what?
The thoughts on his throwdown where he like physically threw down Texas A&M's defender. What was your
Well, I
initial
mean,
reaction to that?
We talk about being physical at every position, and that's part of it. I mean, he's a strong guy, and we're starting to get there. We're not there yet, but we're starting to get more physical, and the type of football that Auburn expects.
Can you talk about Trey's fourth down run?
Yeah, it was a great run. I mean, he ran over two of their guys, and Jay Prosh, I think he ran him over too, so that was an impressive run.
Anything else? All right, Coach.
Thank